Okay, so for your assignment this week, you are going to do assignment 4.1 and 4.2, and that's it. I'm going to be nice this week. So all you have to do are those two assignments. The first assignment is just spelling the requested borrowed chords. All right? So we'll go over the first example. Well, technically the second one, since they give you the first one. So this is assignment, and actually that stays. Whew. So this is assignment 4.1. And they give you, you're in the key of F major. And they want you to do a flatted, sixth. I always reverse those. I'm dyslexic only when it comes to the Roman numeral 6. So our flatted sixth chord, first of all, we've got to figure out what our parallel minor is, which is F minor. All right, and this is where our circle of fifths comes in handy. So F minor is also the relative major of A flat. All right, so if you can think about A flat's key signature, which is going to be, if you go back to circle of fifths, we've got C, 1 flat's F, 2 flats are B flat, right? 3 flats, E flat, and then 4 flats is going to be A flat. And if we use our little mnemonic device, battle, ends, and down. All right, so we've got B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. So these are B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, D flat. So these are our options for added spice for our key signature, all right? We've already got B flat, so now we can add E flat, A flat, and D flat to this if we find it necessary. So for F, the sixth note in F is D. All right, so when we build our chord, and I'm going to move it over here because I didn't give myself enough room. So we've got D, and it's in root position, so we can start on D, D, F, and A. All right, so we're going to make it a flatted sixth. We're going to use our D flat. So we're borrowing our key signature, right? Put a flat on it. So when we're adding our key signature, we can add B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat to it, right? Like that. So we're going to use these, all right? So we've got A flat and D flat, and that's all you do. You just have to construct this chord, okay? Let's do another one. So that's the step-by-step analysis. You may find some shortcuts, and that's just fine. I'm all about you guys finding shortcuts. All right, so the next one, and I do want to warn you with some of these key signatures, like number 4, where it's 6 flats, or number 6, where you've got 5 flats, you're very, very likely going to see a double flat situation, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? Or maybe a double sharp in some of these, like 14 or 8. It's totally possible, and even quite possibly probable. So actually, I'm going to skip, and I'm going to do a hard one. We're going to do number 4, all right? So number 4 has 6 flats in it. All right, so everything but F. So it's already flatted. And so we're in the key of G flat major, which means we've got to figure out what's in G flat minor. All right? So G flat minor would be the same as, technically, B double flat major, which doesn't exist. It's not a thing. So here's where we have to use enharmonics, right? So what's the equivalent of G flat and B double flat, right? If you look at a piano and you look for B double flat, what you're going to end up with is A natural, all right? And F sharp. F sharp minor or A natural, okay? So we're going to steal, sorry, hi. We are going to steal the B double flat key signature, all right? Which means adding F flat, adding 2 flats there, okay? So that's the B double flat key signature. Oh, and actually technically you'd have E double flat as well, okay? So, and actually I'm going to do this in orange so you can see where it's stolen or borrowed. So we're going to add 3 flats to this sucker. So it's going to be F flat, B double flat or extra flat, and E double flat. All right? Which essentially cancels itself out and puts it into A major, all right? i.e. C sharp and D sharp, or F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So don't worry about that. Just think in flats, all right? So if we're dealing with the 4, minor 4, right, of G flat, so we've got to find the 4th note, which is exactly C flat, all right? So we've got, let's do this. We've got C flat, and then E flat, G flat, all right? C flat, E flat, G flat. And right now, as it is, this is actually just plain old major, right? C flat to E flat's a major third, E flat to G flat's a minor third. We've got to make this third lowered, right? So it's going to be E double flat. And it's also in our key signature, our borrowed key signature is E double flat, right? So this one's a little complicated. I solved it for you. All you have to know really is that this minor 4, without this, despite the key signature, is still major. And we need to make it minor. The way you make it minor is adding a flat. In this case, since the E flat's already flat in the key signature, we've got to make it double flat. All right? Okay, so that is that one. So our next assignment, 4.2, is basically going to give you the chord and then have you resolve it using a proper voice leading. So you've got to write out the chord and then use proper voice leading to resolve it. So in this case, we've got F major, and the chord we're given is 2 half diminished, 6/5. So this is our borrowed chord in F major. And we know that F major is most likely to resolve to some sort of 5 chord, right? So our first job is to actually write out this chord, correct? So if it's a 2 chord, but it's first inversion, normally in root position, this chord would be composed of, right, G, B flat, D, and F. All right, so if we're in F major, we've got to figure out what the relative minor is, okay, which we've already done actually. So the parallel minor to F major is F minor, and F minor is going to share a key signature with A flat major, okay? So again, we've got 4 flats. So let's take our borrowed flats, put them over here, all right? So we've got B flat and E flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Good. And then our 2/6 chord, we can just jot it out here so we can just see it all stacked together. So we're going to have, it's going to start on G, B, D, F. And because it's in first inversion, that G is going to hop up here. Okay? So it's going to go boop, 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 up there. All right? Bass clef, it's going to be just down a step. So it's going to be B flat, just like that. So now we've got to spread this out. So we definitely, because this is a 6/5 chord, we have to have B flat as our bass. That's our first note. And then we can kind of do what we want, right? So let's have tenor come up here. We'll double the B flat, right? Because you always want to double the bass, not the root of the chord, but the bass. And then we will have, let's have the other two we need are just F and G, right? And since this is the 7th chord, we don't have to worry about doubling. So we're just missing our one note. Oh, D, sorry, that's it. All right, now, because we're using borrowed chords, we can add in the rest of our notes for the borrowed key signature, right? So we don't have an A flat in our chord, but we do have, and we don't have an E flat in our chord, right? But we do have a D flat. So this D flat gets lowered half step, and that's how it becomes half diminished. And then we're going to resolve it, right? So normally what's going to happen is it's going to resolve up to the 5. Okay, so this is going to resolve up to C, and then everything else is going to resolve downward. Okay, so our next chord, our 5 chord, is going to be C, E, and G, just like that, right? Those are our possibilities, C, E, G. So we can have the D flat resolve down to C. Sorry, that's not doubled. My brain was in treble clef mode right just then. And then the alto can resolve down to E. And then the soprano, because if we can, we want to hold over a note, can stay on G. All right? So that's all you have to do. And that's all there is to it. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. So you're just going to be doing that this week, just those 2 assignments, and then we're going to move on. So yeah, see you next week. Bye-bye.